DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
I'm Javier Horseman, and I'm here to talk about voting. In 2020, the American people voted to send Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House. Since then, Democrats have delivered the lowest unemployment rate since 1969, 14 million new jobs, and 92% of citizens with health insurance because Democrats get things done for the American people. So this 2024, vote for Vice President Harris and Governor Walz and Delaware Democrats up and down the state, up and down the ballot. Your vote is your voice. Be heard on November 5th. You've got to vote. Check your registration in your polling place at ivote.de.gov. Thank you.
Tonight, continued dry conditions prompts Governor Carney to issue a drought watch. Plus, Delaware names a new state police superintendent, and thousands line Newark's Main Street for the annual Halloween parade. Those stories and much more straight ahead on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to this edition of DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Here's what's making headlines today across the first state. With a lack of rain over the past month, Governor John Carney issued a drought watch late last week, urging residents to conserve water. In a statement, the governor's office cited unusually low soil moisture and precipitation as factors in the decision, though reservoirs here in northern Newcastle County do remain stable. Governor Carney encouraged residents to cut back on non-essential water use, especially for lawns and gardens. Public Water Supplies echoed this, advising conservative and sparing water use. In addition, a mandatory burn ban prohibits bonfires, agricultural fires, and controlled burns to minimize fire risks. The Delaware Water Supply Coordinating Council will continue monitoring drought indicators closely, warning that the watch could escalate if dry conditions do persist. On Tuesday, State Fire Marshal John Rudd issued an order banning all outdoor burning throughout the state of Delaware, which includes the prohibited retail sale and use of fireworks. The ban does not include, however, charcoal and gas grills for cooking, but officials do urge residents to use extreme caution when using those items. And discarded cigarettes, carelessness with matches, and vehicular exhaust are just some of the most frequent causes for the ignition of dry grass, mulch, and other landscape materials. Questions concerning this burn ban can be emailed to fire.marshall@delaware.gov. In other news tonight, Major William Crotty will step in as the next superintendent of the state police, succeeding Colonel Melissa Zebley, who is retiring. Crotty, a University of Delaware grad who joined the force in 1997, has climbed the ranks from Troop 1 in Penny Hill to his current role overseeing operations in both Kent and Sussex counties. Reflecting on his role, Crotty said that he is humbled to serve as the 27th superintendent. He continued praising the dedication of DSP officers, emphasizing his commitment to community engagement and evidence-based policing. Zebley's retirement is set for this Friday, November 1st. And a Wilmington man has been sentenced to 23 years for his role in the 2018 murder of Richard Young. Nasir Anderson, 24 years old, pleaded guilty and was sentenced on October 18th in Newcastle County Superior Court. Anderson's 102-year sentence was suspended after 23 years with probation to follow for convictions on murder, firearm robbery, and conspiracy charges. Attorney General Kathy Jennings commended the long investigation, calling it a commitment to justice. The Wilmington Police Cold Case Unit identified Anderson as a suspect back in 2023, linking him to the robbery and the fatal shooting of Young in his Wilmington apartment. And Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings has imposed a 6-month suspension on Robert Brandon Prettyman, a former Delaware investment advisor, for accessing former clients' financial accounts while unregistered. The suspension follows a complaint to Delaware's Investor Protection Unit by a former client concerned that Prettyman continued viewing account data even after their professional relationship had ended. An investigation revealed that Prettyman accessed client information via the financial data platform called eMoney, which remained open despite his unregistered status. Jennings emphasized the critical need for client privacy, especially when the advisor-client relationship has concluded. And state police have arrested a Newark man in connection with 2 recent incidents, including a robbery at a Walgreens and the theft of a vehicle from Christiana Hospital. The suspect, identified as 51-year-old Elvis Cruz, was charged this week following an investigation into these incidents. The first occurred on October 9th at the Walgreens, located on Route 4 and Harmony Road, where Cruz allegedly smashed a display case, stole merchandise, and threatened a store employee with a gun as he ran away. On Sunday, October 27th, Cruz was allegedly involved in another incident at the Women's and Children's Health Center at Christiana Hospital. According to police, a food delivery driver briefly left his car idling outside the center, during which Cruz reportedly took off with the car. Christiana Hospital constables quickly recognized Cruz from surveillance video, linking him to a previous auto theft case. Delaware State Police later located and arrested Cruz at his residence without incident. He is currently held at the Howard Young Correctional Institution on $32,600 cash bond. And Newark City Council denied a permit for a car wash on Monday, throwing the future of a major redevelopment project into question. The plan, led by Dash-In, aimed to replace the notorious Roadway Inn with a gas station, convenience store, and a car wash. While the gas station and store received approval, the car wash actually failed in a 3-3 vote. Dash-In representatives, surprised by the outcome, now face a dilemma over the project's viability without the car wash, which was to occupy about 1/3 of that site. The site has been controversial, with Newark police responding to hundreds of incidents at the aging motel. Council members voiced strong support for removing the blighted property, but concerns over water usage and redundancy stalled that car wash plan in Newark. We'll certainly keep you updated with what happens there in the city of Newark. Speaking of clean cars, well, with the absence of rain like we told you about over the past couple weeks, dry conditions have been a real issue here in Delaware. So what does the forecast hold? Let's check in live with Shakira. She's here in the studio. Hey, Shakira.
DETV News Weather is brought to you by Real Life Prosthetics. Live life fully with Real Life Prosthetics. Your ability is our mission. Hey, Matt, and it is a good time to go get your car washed, probably for the next few days or so, unfortunately. Happy Tuesday, DETV fam. I hope everyone's weekend was packed with some laughs and good family quality time. As Matt mentioned, the rain is definitely playing hard to get. So we are in a dry stretch for the next few days. We might get a sprinkle this weekend, but don't count on it. So please adhere to the order issued by our governor and fire marshal. Well, meanwhile, at least the temperatures seem to be cool and comfy. We were in the 60s today with sunny skies, and this evening it'll be a little chilly with a light breeze. So if you're going out, you will definitely need a jacket. And Wednesday will be setting us up for a great summer Halloween. It will definitely be a treat because we will have partly cloudy skies and highs reaching a pleasant 77 degrees. Now, I'm sure all the kiddos and trick-or-treaters will be happy for that. I'll have more on that tomorrow. Be sure to enjoy the sunny start to your week. And a little birdie told me to don't forget, it's the end of October, which means it's breast cancer awareness. You still have a few days to make sure that you get checked and stay healthy. And you don't have to do it just for October. It's year round. So be safe, everyone. Make it a great day. Back to you, Matt.
And turning to other headlines now across Delaware, Sussex County may soon impose a new tax on short-term rentals. At tomorrow's county council meeting, officials will discuss an ordinance that could add a 3% tax to short-term rentals in unincorporated areas. This is following new state legislation. Short-term rentals are defined as stays of 31 nights or fewer. The county already applies a 3% lodging tax on hotels and motels in the area, generating about $3.4 million since the year 2020. Half of this revenue has funded dredging projects. If approved, the rental tax would support beach nourishment, tourism, as well as other programs. Adrienne Gallagher, she's president of the Sussex County Association of Realtors, warns that the tax could actually harm the local economy, noting that there's a cumulative impact. Extra taxes could potentially drive tourists away. Switching gears here this evening, Delaware lost a local giant earlier this month with the passing of former AI school band director Paul Peretz. Alumni band members gathered at the school late last week for a performance during homecoming, and DETV was there. Check it out.
Every student deserves at least one teacher in their K-12 education who really understands them. Someone who will go above and beyond to make sure that their students are best equipped to succeed. Someone who creates an environment in their classroom that is warm and welcoming and understands that a good education on a holistic level is about more than just textbook readings and pop quizzes. For many students of A.I. DuPont High School in Greenville, this was band director Paul Peretz. During his 36-year tenure, Peretz developed the A.I. DuPont Band into a musical powerhouse, traveling the country and even abroad for performances. He retired in 2012 and on October 13th, passed away at the age of 82. It was with this in mind that a group of Paul's students, now A.I. DuPont staff themselves, proposed a performance at the homecoming game in his memory. They tossed their idea into the void of the internet, hoping to find a few other alumni participants, and the response was staggering.
Yeah, so we have around 200 members marching in the band. The outpouring of support and people just wanted to come. We have people here from Hawaii. They flew in for this. Somebody flew in from California. So it's been incredible, and it just shows the support and the love that the AI alumni have for this place.
The atmosphere on A.I. DuPont's field Friday night could only be described as bittersweet. To so many, someone incredibly special to them was gone, yet in his absence, there were so many smiling faces and cherished memories to reflect on. Friends reconnected, music was shared with younger generations, and band members rekindled a passion for performance after years away.
So actually, when I was in 6th grade at AI Middle, I started playing the clarinet just so that I could be in the band when I came to AI High School. So that was the reason I picked up the clarinet to begin with. When I graduated, I did not touch it ever again after high school, and I picked it up last week for the first time in 21 years. Yeah, it's like muscle memory. It just comes back, yeah.
Together, the AI alumni band donned matching shirts with a quote from Peretz, and shared a few songs that were staples of his marching band shows. And for a man who devoted his life to cultivating a sense of community and a love of music, I can't imagine a more fitting send-off. This is Evan Drosto with DETV, signing off.
In other news tonight, Wilmington St. Francis Hospital, known as the Hospital on Top of the Hill, celebrated its 100th year in operation late last week with a service and a reveal of a mural. The hospital was commissioned by the Sisters of St. Francis of Philadelphia and dedicated by the Most Reverend John Monahan, the Catholic bishop at the time. In its 100 years, the hospital has provided emergency care, outpatient services, and maternal and fetal health. A mass was held on Wednesday, October 16th on the 5th floor chapel as part of the month-long observance of the milestone. The focus has always been on community service for the hospital.
For the past 100 years, St. Francis Hospital has faithfully fulfilled and carried on the legacy of the Sisters of St. Francis of Philadelphia. Our congregation began in 1855, and by 1860, we were already involved in healthcare ministry. Over the years, St. Francis, which is, I believe, the 13th hospital we founded, has grown, has increased the ability to serve patients within the hospital, and in the past 40 or so years has developed continuous outreach to the Wilmington community.
Also over the weekend, we're everywhere, I tell you, the Delaware Art Museum hosted the 2nd annual Hip Hop Cultural Summit presented by All Hip Hop, Guerrilla Republic, and the Art Museum itself. The free, family-friendly event in Wilmington celebrated hip hop's role in social justice, change, and civic engagement. Following last year's success with over 1,000 attendees, this year's summit was even bigger, with Flava Flav, co-founder of the legendary group Public Enemy, headlining the event. The rap legend spoke with DETV's Ivan Thomas about differences between today's rap and when he was making music.
And the state of music is a lot different now because of the generation has advanced, and not only that, but nowadays you got this thing we call technology. Right. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, man, when we first started making records, man, there was Betamax and all of that. Right. You know what I'm saying? And now, I mean, you got all kind of technologies going on right now, you know. So It was a lot different. And not only that, but also our music had messages to it.
Right.
Today's rap music, the only message that it really has to me is, put it this way, the way that people are living in their neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? People glorifying, drugs, guns, sex, money.
Right.
That's what a lot of rap music is about right now today, you know what I'm saying? I wish rap music would have more messages to it.
The summit offered a wide range of experiences, including 3 exhibitions, a photography showcase by T. Eric Monroe, an exhibit from the Victrola Museum, which was presented by Grouchy Greg, founder of allhiphop.com, which included the earliest records ever released, a panel discussion on Delaware's role in birthing the modern music industry, and a collection from local artists themed around the art of activism and social justice. Competitive battles featured MCs, DJs, graffiti artists, and breakdancers judged by national and local experts, showcasing hip-hop's creative spirit. Panel discussions with celebrity guests explored hip-hop's impact on social change. Panelists included Councilman Dupree Do-It-All Kelly from the rap group Lords of the Underground, as well as Pam Africa and Hakeem Green from the group Channel Live. Organizers said the day was a huge success. Sure sounds like it.
Everybody loved it, no matter what age group, no matter what demographic, no matter what zip code they came from. We even have people flying in from Canada, you know what I mean, for this experience.
And more events from over the weekend to recap. More than 100 people gathered at Frawley Stadium Saturday for the first annual fire truck pull to benefit the West End Neighborhood House. Our Evan Jurista has more.
Could you and 7 of your friends win a tug of war against a 35,000-pound fire engine? That's the question over 100 people aim to answer this Saturday at the inaugural Delaware Pulling for Youth fire truck pull. Held in Frawley Stadium's parking lot and benefiting Wilmington's West End Neighborhood House, Saturday's event saw teams of 6 to 8 compete for the fastest time pulling a fire truck over the finish line a short distance away. And while this might sound simple enough on paper, participants beg to differ.
We just did our second pull. We're tired. Hopefully we beat our time. I don't think we did, but we're done.
That's Greg Munson, the Director of Development at West End Neighborhood House. He compared the process of organizing Saturday's event to, well, pulling a fire truck. It was slow at first, yet gratifying once momentum began to build.
It has snowballed into getting the fire, the police, the EMTs. We have about 15 or 20 different sponsors. We have 100 pullers on our first time out. So it's just really evolved and we're so proud.
The idea germinated 3 months ago. So actually, I think it's just really fast to pull this kind of thing together.
Clint Walker, chairperson of the board at West End Neighborhood House, shared that the stresses and challenges of planning events like these are worth it when reflecting on the work this organization does in our community.
West End is a remarkable place. I mean, what they really specialize in is finding unmet needs in the community and devising really good programs to meet those needs. And the only way we can do that, though, is by working with partners like this to raise money to make that happen. So this is a really good way to, one, raise some money for West End and have a little fun while we do it.
And indeed, after some sweat, an auction for a few Philly sports tickets, and a lot of repositioning of the fire truck, over $30,000 were raised for West End Neighborhood House, making Saturday's event a success. As Greg put it,
I think there's an opportunity that we can expand on this and continue to improve and see how it goes and keep pulling into the future.
This is Evan Jurista with DETV, signing off.
Thank you, Evan. Again, we were all around town this weekend. Good stuff there. Turning to sports now, it's playoff time for fall high school sports, and Nick is here live in studio to break down all the headlines, including the DIAA volleyball state tournament bracket and the field hockey D1 and D2 matchups, plus big games looking forward to ahead this weekend. Nick, how's it going?
And today's local sports report is brought to you by Delcare Health Solutions, a patient-centered family practice. Hey man, one of my favorite parts of the year. It is playoff time, as you mentioned. So let's dive in and take a look at what is on the horizon here in our fall high school sports in the first state. So let's just dive right into it here. And we're going to take a look at the new Delaware Live Sports football rankings as well. for week 9. We got a lot to get into, but we're going to start in the hardwood with volleyball. Your DIAA volleyball state tournament bracket was released on Sunday, and it looks like this. Dennis is going to put that up on your screen right now. Top seed going to the Padua Pandas. They're going to have a first round bye. Of course, all this action is getting underway on Thursday. Padua gets your top seed sitting atop the bracket. They'll have a first round bye. Ursuline, your number 2 seed towards the bottom. And then Tower Hill, your number 3. Charter, your 4. St. Mark's 5. 6 Newark's Charter. 7 DMA. And 8 Carabel. So those are all your teams that are going to have first round byes. Of course, the championship game is set for November 14th at the Bob Carpenter Center. So playoffs for volleyball is underway this week, all beginning on Thursday. But volleyball is not the only sport ready for the postseason. The field hockey brackets for both Division I and Division II were also released earlier this week. So let's dive right in and start with Division I. Division I games are scheduled to begin on Thursday as well, just like volleyball. And then D2 will get underway a day earlier on Wednesday. So let's take a look at that Division I bracket here for field hockey postseason getting underway this week. That's going to be up on your screen here in a moment. You're going to take a look at that. Here you go. Cape Henlopen, no surprise there. They're still sitting at that top seed in Division I. There they are there. Odessa down at the bottom. They'll take on Middletown, the 3. Smyrna grabs that 2 spot. They'll take on Sussex Tech, the 7. And then Charter and Milford, your other matchup there in the quarterfinals of Division I. So there's your matchups for Division I field hockey. Let's now look at Division II field hockey. Again, that's going to get started on a Wednesday. And how about that? You look at the top seed up there, Newark Charter. They're going to have the first round bye. What a season it's been so far for the Patriots. Wilmington Friends, Delmar, and Sussex Academy getting those other byes right into the quarterfinals. So again, both championship games for field hockey Division I and Division II will be played on November 9th at Del State University. So that's going to be a fun day of field hockey for both divisions. Now, let's examine some of the football results from Week 8 before we reveal those new Delaware Live Sports rankings for all 3 classes as we approach Week 9. So let's take a look at the recap on your screen. Some scores here from earlier on this week. Let's take a deep, closer look at it. Charter over McCain, Polytech over Seaford, DMA with a 42-0 shutout over Newark. The big one there, Hodson, 21-7 over Appoquinimink. A big win for the Silver Eagles there. Sussex Tech gets a win over Milford. Red Lion over Del Castle. You see some of the other ones. Salesianum, 38-7 over Middletown in that big battle in Class 3A. And then William Penn, 14-13 there over St. Mark. So there you have it, some recap from scores for Week 8. Now let's take a look at where these teams stand now as we head into Week 9. Here are your Delaware Live Sports rankings. We're going to get your Super 7s for all 3 classes. Let's start at the top with Class 3A. Sally's, no surprise there. They shipped off Paul Warlow to the NFL. He joined the Jets coaching staff after that win over Middletown on Friday night. The undefeated state champs, or I should say undefeated in-state state champs, are sitting at that top spot. Sussex Central making their way up all the way to number 2. Middletown, after the loss, they remain at 3. Appoquinimink coming in at number 4 this week after the loss to Sally's a few weeks ago. Some injuries to look to pay attention to there for the Jaguars. Smyrna starting to get hot as of late. They're at 5. Hodson, a huge win as we talked about at 6. And then Cape Henlopen grabbing that 7th spot of the Super 7 rankings as we head into week number 9. Now let's take a look at Class 2A, and nothing changing at that number 1 spot for Class 2A as well. Undefeated defending state champs, a similar theme here in Class 2 with the Caravel Buccaneers grabbing that number 1. Then at number 2, Red Lion. They had played a very good football here as of late. The Howard Wildcats, how about them all the way up at number 3 now? Delaware Military Academy 4, Delmar, Lake Forest, and Woodbridge, who falls back a few spots. They're at number 7. So there's your look at Class 2A. And now our final class, the Class 1A Super 7 rankings on your screen. And again, the same team once again at number 1 here for Week 8 as we head into Week 9. Indian River, Tatnall, your defending state champs at number 2. Polytech 3. First State Military all the way at 4. The Vikings from St. Elizabeth's 5. The other Vikings from Christiana sitting there at 6. And then the Brandywine Bulldogs there at 7. So there are your rankings. We got your postseason brackets for volleyball and field hockey. So Matt, you got some big matchups this weekend. It's that time of the year. It's going to be a fun one.
Sounds good, Nick. You sure are busy this time of year. We will catch you back here on Thursday. And finally tonight, we bring you the annual Newark Halloween Parade. Thousands line Main Street in Newark on Saturday to watch more than 50 bands, dance troupes, and community groups march, many in costume. How about that? Following the parade, kids had the opportunity to trick or treat around Main Street businesses. A good time was certainly had by all. And that's going to do it for this edition of DETV News. Don't forget to follow us all along your favorite social media platforms for updates on what's happening around the great state of Delaware. And if you have a comment, question, news, or sports tip, you know where to send it, press@detvch.com. For Nick, Shakara, and all of us here at DETV, have a great night. We'll see you again here tomorrow.
Hello, my name is Eugene Young, and I'm here today to talk about voting. In 2020, the American people voted to send Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House. Since then, the Democrats have delivered. The lowest unemployment rate since 1969, 14 million new jobs, 92% of citizens with health insurance. Because Democrats get things done for the American people. So this 2024, vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and the Delaware Democrats across the state. Your vote is your voice. Be heard on November 5th. You've got to vote. Check your registration and find your polling place at ivote.de.gov. Thank you.
We don't talk about prostate cancer enough, and it's the most diagnosed form of cancer and the second most common cause of cancer death among Black men in both Delaware and the United States. Approximately 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but just by asking your healthcare provider if you should get a screening could help you detect prostate cancer early and save your life. So let's talk about it. Talk to your healthcare provider today about a prostate cancer screening if you are 40 years of age or older, or have a family history of prostate cancer. If you don't have insurance, or if your insurance doesn't pay for cancer screenings, Screening for Life may provide you with the screenings that you need, and Nurse Navigators make this process easier. To learn more, visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211. Ask your healthcare provider about a prostate cancer screening, and you're asking for so much more.
Hi, I'm Thea Lopez, and I'm here to talk about voting. On November the 5th, we can make history, but the Democratic Party needs your help in order to make it a reality. By voting for local and national Democrats, you have the power to elect the first woman president, the power to ensure the rights of women stay with them regarding their bodies, and the power to protect BIPOC and LGBTQ+ communities. Your vote is your voice. So be heard on November the 5th. You gotta vote. So please check out your registration and find out your polling place at ivote.de.gov.
My name is Jason Aviles, and I am the founder and owner of Fly Yogi. And I'm here to share with you some tips to be able to help fight opioid addiction. Opioid addiction is a real growing problem here in America. And I'm here to share with you some tips that you can be able to integrate into your everyday life to really fight against opioid addiction. One of the first things is redeveloping your mindset. One of the practices that I like to use daily is meditation. And what meditation does is it brings you clarity of mind, and it helps keep you grounded, and it improves your ability to make decisions that you are going to benefit from. A lot of the time we find that addiction is rooted in our mindset. It's rooted in how we think and how we perceive, and therefore how we act. So this is a really good way to help fight against that energy of addiction. The second thing is improving your lifestyle through diet and exercise. At the very root of addiction, there is substances within the body that's causing the addiction on a physical level. When we begin to introduce healthier foods, plant-based foods, we begin to remove and detox the substances that are in our body that's causing and attracting the addiction. So through incorporating more fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and even drinking water on a daily basis, you're going to put your body in a state where it's going to be able to fight the root causes of these addictions. The second part is exercise. Exercise is good for mood. It's good for energy. It's good to increase vitality. It's good to get your heart pumping and get your blood flowing and get oxygen moving throughout the body. So through engaging in physical exercise, complemented by incorporating healthier foods, you're putting your body and your mind in a state where it does not want what's causing these things that are manifesting negatively in your life. So addiction can really be decreased by just incorporating a healthier lifestyle through diet and nutrition, exercise, and then also making sure that you're tackling the mind through mindset, through meditation.